Good morning and welcome to our live talk show this morning, brought to you by MILDMAY Uganda in partnership with the Ministry of Health and with support from the Presidential Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief PEPFAR through the Center for Diseases Control CDC. I am your host Priscilla Regina Naloga. We start off by asking you, do you have a dream? Have your young girls experienced some dreams? Do the young people in your community have dreams? In particular, is the adolescent girl child in Uganda determined, resilient, empowered, AIDS-free, mentored, and safely living? The answers to those questions are in the Dreams Initiative. Dreams, a new initiative of PEPFAR and the Gates Foundation and the Nike Foundation, is helping adolescent girls and young women lead determined, resilient, empowered, AIDS-free, mentored, and safe lives. Our discussion today is going to be focused on the impact of the Dreams program in empowering young girls and women. Joining me for the in-depth impact analysis are my panelists. I do have Ms. Sarah Kawasomi, the Dreams Coordinator. We're also going to be joined by Ms. Farida Naziwa, who is the Probation Officer in Mityana. We also do have Mr. Tadeo Atuhura, who's the Communication and Partnership Manager with MILDMAY Uganda. Of course, we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can also join the discussion and follow it on Twitter at NTV Uganda. Let's get started with our introductions of our panelists. Good morning to you, Ms. Farida Naziwa, and you're most welcome to the show.
Thank you, morning too.
Could you give us a further introduction of under what capacity you take the seat before you?
Naziwa Farida, the Senior Probation and Welfare Officer in Mityana District. Yes.
Okay, all right. Next to her, of course, we do have the MILDMAY Coordinator of the Dreams Project. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I'm Sarah Victoria Kawasomi. I work with MILDMAY Uganda. I'm the project coordinator for the Dreams Project, MILDMAY Uganda,
Okay.
Mubende region.
All right. And still from MILDMAY, we do have Mr. Tadeo Atuhura. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Priscilla. Good morning, good afternoon, viewers. My name is Tadeo, and I lead communications and partnership at MILDMAY Uganda Group.
Okay, all right. I think I'll start from that extreme left this morning to have a better understanding of the Dreams Initiative. And through the Dreams Initiative as MILDMAY, you have enabled the training of about 178,336 young girls and adolescents through the Dreams Project. Exactly when did these trainings and mentorship start?
Thank you so much, Priscilla. I think as we delve into that question, this particular MILDMAY Uganda group is celebrating 25 years. So we're excited that at 25 years we're able to talk about these milestones. So within one of our components, which is the programming arena, guided of course by our vision of communities transformed for sustainable health, we've been working with the communities, more especially the districts, in partnership with the Ministry of Health to implement the Dreams program. And the Dreams program is really about us impacting on the lives of the young girls. We're talking about close to about 7 years of implementation. Implementation across the districts where we work. Mityana is just one of them. And touching the lives of these girls to save them from the HIV epidemic, which they could have caught because of the different aspects that happen within the society setups. You know, girls are very vulnerable. Yes, boys are also vulnerable, but girls are much more vulnerable. And so when they drop out of school, they're exposed to so many things in terms of what they would want to look up for, in terms of their health needs that they have. And sometimes we've seen it's those basic things that they lack that lead them or expose them to getting HIV. And so our role has been, how do we create their lives holistic in nature, that we empower them, we're able to give them skills that they can be able to use to gain access to basic necessities, to be able to have skills that can enable them produce basic products, dresses, we have tailoring classes, we have how they should be able to live in society, how they can be able to be resilient, that determination, if somebody comes to you and lies to you about giving you, say, airtime of 2,000, a phone of 60,000 shillings, is that worth your life? But if you can be able to have a skill, you do something, then sell a product, chances are that you'll be able to be resilient.
Okay.
And so our focus has been, how do we empower them? And we know once you empower a girl, once you empower a woman in the communities, it's very important that that community is going to actually thrive, which is so different from if you empower the man. The women normally are the biggest stock around family, their stakeholders around the community. So it's quite important that we impact onto that particular section. So the girls that we look at, when we started quite, I must say we should have started earlier, but it's because of the programming that we have.
Speaking of your starting, which was your pilot district in Uganda? And in so doing, what was the AIDS prevalency of that area? We work in Central Region, and in Central Region here I'm referring to the particular districts for MILDMAY Uganda Accelerating Epidemic Control project that comes to the end in September this year. Of course, we really want to appreciate PEPFAR CDC for the support, tremendous support that has enabled us implement the bigger part of the program. The DREAMS is just one small component. And so in Central, we're talking about Mitiana, we're talking about Kasanda, we're talking about Chiboga, we're talking about Nakasongola, we're talking about Luwero, we're talking about Mubende. And we know in terms of our prevalence as far as HIV is concerned with those specific areas. Of course, also we are saddened by the Ebola hit in one of our districts in Mubende, but that creates much more in terms of the significance of our programming to these areas. And more specifically, when you look at the current rates, actually it's the young people who are actually being affected that much as far as HIV is concerned. Which is very disturbing given the fact that it's the same demography that has actually so much information on their fingertips, and they have more access to this information and services that can't support otherwise in this day and era. Let me turn to Madam Sarah Kabasomi. As the coordinator on ground in Mubende, talk to us about the DREAMS program. What was the picture that was presented in the beginning? What are some of those programs or activities that you have introduced to the girls in Mubende? What has been their response in signing up for some of these?
Thank you very much. The DREAMS program, when we started in Mubende region, the districts that Tadeo has spoken about, the DREAMS project, we are operating in 4 districts, Mitiana, Luwero, Kasanda and Mubende. When we started, we were addressing the key drivers, the structural drivers that force these girls into vulnerability. And the major structural drivers, the key drivers, is lack of economic empowerment. When we're speaking about the girls' vulnerability as compared to the boys, when you look at the economic aspects, the girls have no income, they have no knowledge about financial literacy, they don't have any savings. And when you look at our rural settings, more especially in the communities where we are working, there are those cultural aspects that keep the girl at the back. They are in the kitchen, they are not exposed. The other structural driver is that they do not have any meaningful interactions. When you compare the girls to the boys, if, for example, there is a match around that community, the boys will walk out very freely, they will go and watch the match, but the girl is kept at the back. In terms of education, the girls have dropped out of schools, they lack school fees. When it comes to these other social settings, if it's looking after the families, it's in a rainy season and people are going to cultivate in the gardens, they will tell the girl, do not go to school today, you have to look after your siblings, and the girl will remain at home and she will miss school. So we have found many girls missing school because of such kind of settings. If there is lack in terms of school fees, the girl will be told to remain at home because there is no school fees, and the boy will go to school. That limited exposure and this day-to-day interaction, the girl, when it comes to seeking health services, say if they want to go for HIV testing services, the boys have more information, unlike the girls. They may know, but even getting out of the home, because of that cultural setting, it becomes a very big problem. They can't just walk freely to go and get an HIV.
They'll get to the health center,
yes,
and the
so there
receiver
are
there will give them an eye of why do you want.
Exactly. So there are
The stigma.
those limitations, the structural drivers that have led to the girl to experience GBV, HIV infections among them because of those limitations.
You mentioned GBV. What's the marriage between gender-based violence and AIDS?
Okay, there is violation against children. There is GBV, gender-based violence. It's interrelated in such a way that these girls, when they are in a relationship, they are beaten, they are emotionally traumatized. Like I said, if they want to go to the health facility to seek services, someone will question, what are you going to do? If they're in a relationship, the partner can even beat them if they do not explain exactly what they are going to do. So there is always violence of some level. And say, for example, if a girl turned HIV positive, even disclosure becomes a very big problem. It can result into GBV, and maybe they will take their medicine in ID. If they go to the facility and they get the HIV testing services and they are tested, for example, and they turn out positive, that will result into GBV. So there is a very strong relationship about that violence and the increase in HIV. If they are positive, they are traumatized emotionally, they are not supported. If they are not positive, because of this GBV, they can be forced into, say for example, the girls we are serving in our communities, we have found that many of the girls, because of violence at home, they have run out of the homes. They have gone on the streets, they have gone to the bars, they have gone out because they are economically strained, they cannot get what they want. They get out of the home, they go to the trading centers, they start selling sex to have an income, and in so doing, they get HIV. So there's a very strong relationship.
So what have been the evidence-based approaches that you have deployed to actually avert some of these things?
When we reach out to these girls, first of all, the process is we get out into the communities. The girls we are serving, they are found at the village level. We get out, we work with the local leaders, we work with the community resource persons like VHTs, religious leaders. Those community persons support us to mobilize, get into the homes, house to house, and then find these girls. Like I told you in the beginning that reaching out to these girls, it's difficult because they are kept at the back. But we work through those gatekeepers of the communities to find these girls. Then when they find them, we bring them to a safe space, what we call a safe space, where they can meet together and there are no distractors, there is no one listening to their things they are discussing. It's a safe place in terms of safe. And when they come to the safe space, they have been brought out of their homes. That's one way of empowerment. They are brought together, they build the social assets, they interact. Social asset building is one of the services that has been provided to empower these girls to interact with others, have friends, because some of these girls, when you speak to them, they have never been exposed. They come out and in their testimony they are saying, oh, there are other girls who are like me. So when they come together, they are building their social assets, they interact, they get friends, they speak out, they are open, they can talk about their health concerns, other social issues. Those experiencing violence, they can talk about those violence issues. So when they come at this safe space, we screen them. We are not taking all the girls as they come because the levels of vulnerability differ. But we want to pick out those that are most vulnerable. So we have a screening mechanism just to make sure that we get out those ones that are most vulnerable. And the screening that we do, it's asking about their day-to-day social relations. Are they experiencing violence at home? Are they going to school? Have they missed school for a certain period of days? So we are looking at some of those factors. Then after the assessment, you are able to take a decision that this girl is really vulnerable. Among the 100 girls that have come to this safe space, we have, say, for example, 60 girls that are severely vulnerable. So those are the girls now we bring into this safe space, and we provide those services, the evidence-based services.
So what are those exact services that you provide? And for how long do you do the provision for?
We have different packages of services. There are health services. We have HIV testing services. They are screened for HIV, and those that need a test, they go for a test. They are screened for PrEP services. They are screened for gender-based violence, violence against children, and those that we find that they have experienced violence, we are able to refer them, and this is where Lady Farida comes in. We work in partnership with the district. The district has various services. We work with the health facilities, and like especially for her office, we have had children that have experienced violence. We link them to her office, being a probation officer. There are those where they need legal redress. There are those that need immediate treatment. They are referred to the health facilities and they get the treatment. There are those that may need maybe support at the family. This is where her department comes in. So we work with all those structures to make sure that this girl gets the HIV testing services, GBV services, they get family planning services. We have curriculum-based interventions whereby we have packages of trainings specifically for HIV prevention. We have tools that we use like stepping stones, Sinovuyo packages, we have Journeys Plus. Those are different curricula we use for training these girls. And the way the trainings are done, the girls are grouped according to age categories. We have our targeted age group is 10 to 24. But when we are providing them these services, we want them to be in peer groups. So we have 10 to 14 age category, we have 15 to 17, we have 20 to 24. Because in those groups, that's where the girls can freely attend the trainings or get their services they are expected to get. So those different curricula I'm talking about, the ones I've mentioned, they are given according to the age categories.
And what's the period to which they go through this?
There are variations in the period of these services they get. We do other trainings like social, economic.
We want to understand the period so that we know exactly, you know, where do, how long are the children under these programs to assess the impact.
When we bring in these children into these trainings, they stay at the safe space for 1 year. Yes. But the different packages of trainings, they have varied periods. There are those that take 6 weeks. There are those that take 1 month. There are those that take 6 months. There are those that take 9 months. 9 months to 12 months. Because under the socio-economic empowerment, we have the short-term skillings. We give them basic skills, like they can do training in soap making, they can do training in candle making. But before they go into that training, we do a market assessment. What is marketable in their communities? What are they interested in? And then they go into that training. But also we have long-term skilling, whereby some girls, they say they're interested in tailoring. They say they're interested in catering. Yes.
Okay, you have mentioned the partnership being the strength of the DREAMS program, and of course we do have a local partner here from Mitiana, Probation Officer Farida Naziwa. Could you help us understand how local partnerships have actually aided in the DREAMS project, the win-win for the local government as well as the DREAMS project and the girls that have entered in this initiative?
Okay, thank you, Priscilla. First of all, I will first thank MILDMAY for bringing to us this project. It has really helped our girls As Madam said, they are called young mothers. You know, previously when we didn't have it, young girls used to go into marriages at all ages. At around 12, people start to, you know, they experience GBV in their homes, GBV of different categories, and the effects of GBV mainly affects children. So after being affected, they go on the streets, leave their home to look for other people to take care of them, like their grandies, or anyone. Because at times even we find them in the hospital sleeping there because they fear to go home. But after being enrolled in MILDMAY program, they concentrate, they get a relief. They know where to report. Actually, one of those things, they train them, or they are informed on our referral pathways. We have the referral pathways. In any case, if you are under risk, or you see somebody who is under risk of GBV, please report to ABCD. Those referral pathways, they are from either down to up or up to down. Because we have the South line where they report direct to the Ministry of Gender. And the Ministry of Gender gives us a feedback through escalated cases. When we receive those escalated cases, we have to make follow-up. And when we find that one of them is belonging to the age which MILDMAY serves, of course we enroll. We screen and enroll because we work with them in terms of planning, in terms of monitoring the spaces. We always do. We have that technical support supervision. As a government, we have a team of political leaders and the technical leaders who always go to support supervise those spaces at a quarterly basis. So I think with that linkage, we have a good partnership with the program coordinators and even the project.
Okay. Then in regards to the beneficiaries that come out of the different cohorts that have so far happened in the 7 years, how have you been helping the beneficiaries actually link them to the other government programs that perhaps can continue on the work that Dreams and MILDMAY have done in particular?
Oh, thank you. In our local district there, the local government, we have different government programs like UWEP. You know, it is mainly for women. It is Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, where we link most of them because this program starts from the age of 18 to 79. So, but again, you have to get a group. It is a group-based program where it is containing of 5 to 10 members. So I think from the age of 18, a young mother can benefit from UWEP. We have YLP program, that is the Youth Livelihood Program. We also link them, whereby in that program, it has a component of 30% of a female representative. So females from MILDMAY can easily benefit from YLP. It is also ranging from 18 to 30. For it doesn't go to 79 as it is UWEP. Then recently, it is just being implemented. We are just starting PDM, and people are seriously benefiting from PDM. It is a village-based group where it has 30-30, 20-10-10. 30 for women, 30 for youth. You see where now we are going. They are in double-double. You can benefit either from from women, or from youth. We have even others, like general, for that is 10, 20. Even we have for PWDs. If you were female and a PWD, again you can benefit from that 10 of PWD. We have even 10 for elderly. We have the disability grant. For it, it doesn't discriminate whether you're a female or a male. Just go and join the group, you can benefit. So we have the Operation Wealth Creation, that is OWC. It is mainly based in production department, where they have to benefit the agriculture inputs. So it has really helped us that if they benefit from MILDMAY, that is Dreams Project, you get your skill, then you can again benefit from government program.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I like the cycle of life that is happening in this particular districts where the Dreams project is being implemented. Of course, we're looking to the impact of the Dreams program in empowering the girl child and the young woman in the communities and the districts that they have mentioned. Now, to you, Mr. Tadeo, I want to find out, because we're here to assess the impact. So let's start by looking at the impact of Dreams as a program, the impact of MILDMAY in partnership with local leadership. How has this partnership yielded results for the program?
Thank you so much, Priscilla, and I'd also like to appreciate the Senior Probation Officer. One of the fundamental things is that we, in our partnership, we've been able to yield sustainability. Because as an institution, you know, I talked about the 5 years accelerating epidemic control project that is funded by PEPFAR CDC. We work with these partners to ensure that we have created sustainability. The programs that she's talking about, it's very quickly for us to link these young girls to those other systems and structures where they can continue to thrive. Our mandate is to ensure that we are creating a holistic human person who can be able to live a life. Now, if a girl is given tailoring skills, for instance, those are skills that they live with. They can be able to plan their home. Actually, I've talked to these girls one-on-one, and they tell you that I am empowered right now to make a choice of what I want. And I can be able to ask the right questions to the governance systems and structures that are available. So it has yielded so much. One, the girls are empowered to lead their lives. Number two, the systems are available within the systems are so close to them. It's very easier for the probation officer to walk into the safe space and talk to the girls. And even when we are doing the trainings, the teams are able to refer, because she's a role model. She's a woman in leadership, senior probation officer. So even these girls are able to look up to her and say, I can be able to do it in life. And so in terms of sustainability, we've been able to achieve that. The other critical aspect is the community stability. Because once the girls have been given these skills, they have actually even engaged in the family systems and structures other people, even boys, their brothers, their sisters, to contribute towards the income within the home. And so the girl now is part of the discussion around how do we have the home stable. And I will tell you, once the home has got stability in terms of their incomes, health is going to be stable. They're going to live good social lives. The investments that we see, when a girl goes back home and maybe they are producing soap, soap is one of the areas where you produce the entire team within the family. The mother is involved, the other siblings are involved, the father is involved, because the sensitization goes just beyond the girl. And that has created stability and transformation at household level. And once you have transformed then the household, you're looking at the community. And that's why the probation officer is talking about stability even at district level. That you find that the children who would be on streets are now back in school, they are now back into production, they are in homes producing what they want. Now, there are those that are mothers, which is the third thing. Because somehow within the structures, a girl became pregnant, and looking at the circumstances around, she can't go back to school. She has a child, or she has 2 children, but she's still young. We're talking about, Priscilla, ages of prime ages. These 15 years, becoming pregnant, 16, 20 years. Those are really very prime ages that where you'd want your daughter to be in school. Now, once they go and gain this literacy, it's one way of staying their choices of what they want. It's not easy for them to get really deceived around into other, what you would call bad behavior. Because one, they have got a source of income, but they are also literate. They can be able to balance their income. They can be able to balance their books of life. And they know that I want to be this in life. When you engage them, they tell you, I am different. I didn't know that actually when somebody tells me this, I can respond this way. They were vulnerable. Now the level of vulnerability has been actually reduced. Okay. So in terms of impact, we're looking at really a young and empowered girl. And I always say, when you look at how much women do and contribute to society, it's one of the biggest valuable assets that we have. They do a lot in terms of forming a home, running it, in terms of where you would want the community to be. It's a lot. So empowering them, the greater impact that you achieve, that you're going to have 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, a society that is well transformed. Okay. So, and that's what makes us really very proud of this kind of intervention.
All right, a special recognition to the Ministry of Health that has been a good partner to you in this project. And I also know that PEPFAR CDC have also been of great contribution to making dreams alive in the communities. So very, very good, big thank you to those partnerships. But you mentioned something about sustainability. The program is packing up its bags in September. Let me turn to Senior Probation Officer here, who remains with the work and the burden to continue on the good work that has been, received in these communities. For example, in Mityana, what is going to be the sustainability plan to ensure that these girls do not go off track, given the fact that they have been fully equipped to actually be holistic in their livelihoods moving forward?
Oh, thank you, Madam. Now, as Mityana District, since we are the custodian of this program, sincerely, we laid some strategies to sustain our girls as they are progressing. One, as I have said, that we do technical support supervision, we have committees. We have 2 committees, that is the Child Wellbeing Committee, where we discuss issues of children, and as GBV inclusive. We have the steering committee meeting, and those committees, we have different partners on those committees. We have different IPs, we have the technicals, we have the politicians. So we do share and get some packages on how we can sustain our girls after MILDMAY. We do have coordination platforms where we have other IPs. For example, I have said that we have our referral pathways. In any case, if this girl is not yet being able to benefit from the government program, because these government programs have the age start and age what? They do have age limits. We can coordinate with other IPs. We can refer them to other IPs to get services from there. So we do conduct support supervision at a quarterly basis. In doing that, we are getting also knowledge from them. As I visit your office, we share. At least I can go with something to start on as I plan. We have the development, the 5-year development plans with the 3-year development plans. We have the 1-year development plans at the district. We really do plan for them at every year. Remember, even we implement our programs at a quarterly basis or monthly. So I think with those ones, we can at least sustain them, continue progressing in their life. Our CDOs are well-trained counselors, because MILDMAY, they have counselors who offer services to these girls, but even CDOs are trained. and they do visit the safe spaces. Every sub-county has a CDO, and he or she is the custodian of that sub-county, has to take care of it, and all the services offered, she's questionable or answerable. So we really do feel like we are part and parcel in lives of these girls. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Madam Kavasomi, in this regard, you've been a coordinator for all this while. And when the Dreams project started out, it had targets, it had objectives.
Yeah.
You're wrapping up in a month or so. Have those targets been achieved, and have those dreams actually been realized for the project?
Thank you very much, Priscilla. I should say, when we started, actually each year when we are implementing this program, we have a specific target of girls we are supposed to serve. And through our programming for the past years, we have been able to serve all the girls that we plan for, at least up to a level of 99%. And as I speak now, the girls that we planned to reach with services this year we planned to serve 53,483 girls. So far we have been able to serve them 96%, and we are on track. We are about to conclude. So when we look at what we plan to do right from the inception of the program, the goal for this project is to reduce new HIV infections among the girls. And when you look at the kind of services that we've been providing and the result we have got so far, Tadeo talked about the impact, but in terms of us fulfilling this goal, we have been able to attain this goal. When we started, we were serving girls that are negative, HIV negative, and we keep them negative. But along the way, the program kept learning and changing. Now we serve all the girls, irrespective of their HIV status, whether positive or negative, we serve all of them. But what we have so far seen, looking at our number of girls that we have been serving, as we speak right now, we have been able to reach 225,000 girls with various services. And when you look at the level of seroconversion, because our intention was to reduce the number of new HIV positive cases, we have been able to keep them at less than 0.1%. This year we have 53,384 girls being served. When we tested them, those who qualified for an HIV test, we found 12 girls positive. So all these services that we are providing, our main goal is to keep those that are negative, those that turn out positive, they take medicine, they are kept on care and treatment, and they live a healthy life. So we have been able to attain that goal. I just want to say one thing about the overall, because there are all the other areas that contribute to HIV infection. In terms of sexually transmitted infections, other infections, the girls now are aware of the signs and symptoms. They can go and seek for treatment. So we have seen a reduction in the number of new STIs. When it comes to their partners, because these girls, much as the program is focusing on the girls, we also work with the girls' partners, their boyfriends, their husbands, because if you give information to the girl only, we realized if you concentrate on the girl alone, then it causes GBV issues. So we also engage the partners. There is a very significant positive response from the girls' partners. When we are talking about these rural communities, really the life of these girls, the time we entered, especially for these girls that we are serving, you go out to a girl, she's not even able to speak. You ask them, do you have a partner? They will first hold their face like this and they will giggle. And those are our girls. But with the empowerment, the girls are able to communicate. These girls, they can come out and say, I cannot do it unsafe. I'll use a condom. They keep the condoms in their bags. We have condom dispensers at specific points. You put those condoms, you keep monitoring and checking, you find that the girls have picked the condoms, they take them home with ease, which was unusual.
Okay.
You come with a condom home, where did you get it from? But now, because they are able to communicate, they have learned to communicate through those various trainings, they are able to demand for the services that they need. They are able to, we have other programs in the entire Mubende region program on HIV prevention. We have, say, when a girl, say for example, they turn out positive, we engage them. We want to know how many other partners did she associate with. So we link up with all the other departments within MILDMAY, and we have that assisted partner notification. We are able to track all the other network. But this very girl, because now she's empowered, she's able to link you to all the other partners. So they are supporting.
And you extend the help and support to
they
the
are
others.
supporting in the entire bigger program.
I like the fact that Dream started as focusing on one element, but it has grown and evolved in actually having holistic engagement and support to the entire community. The girl child, the young woman, the boys and the partners in this case, and also the families and communities as well as leadership. But let's go back to AIDS as a focal point itself, Mr. Atuhura. In regards to the Uganda AIDS Commission, the target is to actually have up to 0% new infections by 2030, I believe. But if we do have such programs, I get the sense that it takes away what would have been the fear of contracting AIDS. And because they know that if I contract AIDS, I'm safe, there's Dream, I can always go to Dream, and my life continues, which we are trying to mitigate at the end of the day. And so where do we draw the lines there? On the impact, tick, but what's the negative impact that it presents or against the target for us here in Uganda against AIDS?
Priscilla, on the contrary, it's not. Because in the fight against HIV, and I'd like to appreciate Uganda AIDS Commission for the strong leadership and championing us. Right now we are struggling with men. Men don't go to hospitals, men don't want to be tested. Men. I'm a man, but it's one of the areas that we need to carve people here and make sure that they are part of that whole process. Now, the program actually supports what Uganda AIDS Commission is doing. How? First and foremost, the girls are empowered to take even the HIV test. Knowing your status, Priscilla, is the start-off point. If you know your status, there are two ways. One, if you are positive, can you get the necessary management systems? We have now what we call test and treat. When you know that your HIV status, quickly you are linked into care. And when you are linked into care, it's very good for us because you're able to access all the health care that you need so that you don't again spread to the others. Number two is if you are negative, we are looking at how do you stay negative. Even all the other programs, that's why we're having the EMTCT arrangement where you have women really, we're saying, can you come for antenatal care? You are supported and then deliver through skilled birth attendance processes and health facility and all that process. So the programming here that starts at the community is that when there's domestic violence, when there's gender-based violence, the girls will scatter, or children will scatter, they go on the streets. Now, when you're on the street, chances are that you're not going to think about how safe you are. Chances are that you're going to go into sectional sex, where you have to survive. I need to get a sanitary towel, and therefore I need money. So when I reach that point, I can't decide whether I should remain positive or negative. So those vulnerabilities, once they are removed, you are focused to doing your work in terms of, say, business that you have. You have a future to think about. you can only be able to stabilize and say, I need a choice of the man. When the man comes, you're able to assess, is this the kind of person I want? I've discussed with these girls, and they will tell you, now I know the man I want. I want a man who is, one, God-fearing, number two, they are working, number three, they have to go for the HIV test. That's the first thing. So it means that when we progress on that, we're going to have a situation whereby even infections are really totally reduced.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you, Mr. Tadeo, on that, because you are saying that the girls now know what they want. Unfortunately, the one that they want is ill-equipped. They don't have the bare minimum basics that you are encouraging them and directing their focus towards looking into. So there's a challenge there that we need to address. But our time is fast spent. I only do have 3 minutes, for which I'm granting each one of you a minute to give us closing remarks, starting with the local leadership. Here we do have Ms. Farida Naziwa. What's the way forward? What's the action plan forward after Dreams in your closing remarks?
Thank you, Madam Priscilla.
And the word of encouragement to the girls, really.
To the girls. As I have said that we have strategies, we have plans in place. As I have mentioned them, we shall not let our girls on streets. I know as the district we are planning, and we are for sure we have the capacity to take on their lives after MILDMAY. I'm encouraging these girls that in any case, if they are under risk, they feel like they want to share their issues with somebody, our offices are open from Monday to Friday. All the sub-counties, the CDOs are there, the community development officers. They are well trained, they know what to do. Let the offices be used. They know where to refer the cases, in any case if there is a challenge. And on my desk, I'm ever there to serve children. Yes. And with my partners, I know even the court is near me, the police, I work with it. So they shouldn't fear in any case that, you know, they have some feeling somewhere that if I go and I share with her, she may share with my auntie, she may share with... No, we are not that.
I'm definitely inspired by the local leadership in Miti, and I should pay a visit sometime. Madam,
you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
While you give us your closing remarks, you're wrapping up business in September this year. Are you confident that what you have started will be continued and will change the status of Uganda regarding AIDS?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank our funders, CDC, PEPFAR, the line ministries that we've been working with in partnership, Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the Minister of Local Government, the district local governments, and also our partners. We have CSOs we work with, Hope After Rape, Nabagerka Development Foundation, we work with the Uganda Kingdom, and then also NIFED are the partners we work with. The job that has been done on the ground, when you look at the changes in the lives of these girls, the girls have been empowered. And I am confident that whichever girl we have served, even the small groups they have formed amongst them, we have a girl empowerment forum at sub-county level, at district level. Those groups of girls, they have learned the skills, they have the knowledge, they have been equipped to a point that they can do advocacy within the sub-counties and the district level. And then all the other partnerships, the local structures, this program. And when you look at the change in behavior among these girls, I am confident that whatever has been implemented at those levels will be sustained.
All right. Mr. Tadeo, closing remarks.
It's to appreciate, really, the partners involved into this. As MILDMAY Uganda group, we are into communities transformed for sustainable health. So we're extremely excited by the impact that has been created. And my biggest call on to is for everyone to take up their responsibilities and to ensure that we are actually transforming the communities. As we celebrate 25 years, we are excited that we still see the partnerships. And for the men out there, it's very important that you're able to join and support health initiatives.
All right. At the end of the day, I believe that you have realized the need of dreams in your community, and you too can actually take up the initiative, take up this power, take up the voice to extend some of these services to where you are, where you know girls and young women that are having HIV/AIDS stranded with life and direction. That brings us to the end of this dialogue. Trust you've seen the impact. Good day.